What? Harry Potter and One Punch Man? No, nah, you're joking. There's a spin-off series? Yes, there is! And that's Mashle, Magic and Muscles. I'm going to be discussing the series today, and you're going to be wondering why is there a still image on my screen. And that's because I can't find the manga panels that I need to edit this properly. But, well, hey, I guess that's, sad. But, I shall do well. I'm going to discuss Mashle. So, this is a video. You don't need to watch it. You could literally just listen to it. You're getting the same experience. So, let's discuss Mashle. Just remember, like and subscribe. And let's get into it. So, Mashle, Magic and Muscles. It's on its 43rd chapter, I believe, as the time I'm recording this, and it's so good. Now, the pure comedy aspect of Mashle is phenomenal, arguably better than One Punch Man and Harry Potter. But I should explain Mashle. So, Saitama gets isekai'd into another world as a baby. He's able to do double black flips as a child. Trains for 8 years of his life rather than 3, and much harder, and basically becomes the biggest Chad. Doesn't need magic, wrecks everyone, and basically Mashle is trying to change the world. He's trying to get them to view people without magic as still people, and that's a very it's like Black Clover in a way. But worse, because in Black Clover, at least the non-magic people, they get to live. They get somewhat of an existence. But in Mashle, you're killed. Which I think is a very interesting plot thread, but they haven't really delved into why. Well, they have delved into why, but more the ramifications of it. For example, there could be a villain in the future where they have the ability to kill everyone only if you have magic. Then what? Then people realize it's like in real life with biodiversity, where if you wipe out a species who have the gene to survive something, then and just disease comes, wipes them out. You know what happens. A lot of them die because they aren't able to reproduce and create that gene. These are the problems with selective breeding. And that's essentially what's happening in Mashle, but with not animals, but with humans. But not just that. Mashle, at its core, is a satire at the end of the day. And its comedy is very good. Mashle's deadpan humor, just like randomly one of the villains licking a rock and Mashle's like, you're at the, yeah, he's at that age. What age is it appropriate to lick a rock? Goodness sake. He loves his cream puffs. I mean, I've never had a cream puff in my life. I've had a chocolate eclair. Those pretty good. I'm sure cream puffs are somewhat similar. Just not chocolatey. They're creamy. Creamy! I love my chocolate eclairs. I do love them with a good spot of tea. However, this is not about me. This is about Mashle. And, our man Mashle. He, I think, for this series, is perfect as a protagonist. Because he works with the characters so well. He is a positive, flat character. He doesn't change, but he changes others. For example, in chapter 41, I believe, where he rubs the wand against the floor, creates the heat to light the candle from a distance. So he uses the wands as throwing stars. Mashle needs a Buster Sword. That'd be so cool, because Mashle logically could wield a Buster Sword. But as a character, his dry humor is so perfect for the series because it breaks tension. The way he fights, he just powers through. it's not thinking of a strategy necessarily. Like the marionette fight, for example, where he lifted his shoulder to prevent the nerves from hitting his left arm. So they hit his right arm, he ripped the strings off, so that when they did hit his left arm, it hit his right arm. And this is all natural, because Mashle doesn't need to have worked hard to gain this, like Saitama, for example, or Kenichi. Mashle is trying to prove to the world that these people without magic are still good. These people without magic are still powerful. And that's phenomenal. That's one of the things I love about Mashle. But the comedy also, like I've said before, and we have Dot. I also love Dot. Because Dot Barrett, he views himself as the protagonist, which is ironic for us, because we know Mashle is the protagonist. But
Barrett.
Also, because Dot has his own abilities.
Explosion!
And despite being a single liner, he has the cross thing with his emotions, which makes him perfect if he were the protagonist. So it makes sense why he views himself as the protagonist. What about the marionette dude? He also has a great backstory. How his mother his mother taught him, respect these people. It's only by chance you're rich and you have magic. And it works because he's already planted the seeds of being able to change. And it makes sense when he does, when Mashle beats him. And yes, part of that is because he has no choice. But it makes sense. And when Mash finally beats him, and he changes his ways, because the mother dies and he views the world in one way, where everyone below me is a terrible person. He's demonizing everyone, because that's his trauma. But he's learning to work past that already. And Lance has a great backstory as well, with his sister. I mean, it's kind of typical, but I like it. Oh, and Dot, stronger explosions than Megaman. Dot Barrett is a viable option. However, also, some of the great scenes of just pure comedy, like Mashle playing Quidditch, jumping into the air and just kicking about. Mashle and the knee strike. That was such a great chapter. It's just so fun. The vibe is so entertaining. Lemon. I don't really know that much about her. I don't think we do. She's barely done anything.
Lemon.
But now we're kind of getting a little more serious. Mashle right now is, in my opinion, it's as funny as One Punch Man. It's not better than One Punch Man, because its side characters aren't nearly as good. But hey, maybe we'll find someone who can cycle while standing. But also, we're kind of planting the seeds for a more serious arc. We're having this, I think, cult group who are doing the stuff, attacking people, sorry. And this is kind of the antithesis to Mashle as a protagonist, because what they are doing is taking from the poor, taking from the less privileged to power themselves, because they view that as their right. Whereas Mashle is working hard by himself. He doesn't take from others, he takes from himself. He takes his own time and energy to pursue and get stronger. And it's great. And oh my gosh. The creatures. And Dumbledore, the old divine visionary. He makes sense as a character to exist, because there aren't going to be people who support this. And it's like One Piece. There is the Tenryubito dude who was saved by Otohime, who now views everyone. He has respect for everyone, and he likes the fisherman. He regrets his actions.
Yo.
So, and we have that in Mashle, with this dude on the council who is incredibly strong, but also wants non-humans, I'm just going to call them muggles, I don't like Harry Potter that much, actually. All the characters are too archetypal in my view. And in Mashle, I'd argue somewhat like that. But I like the One Punch Man vibes. I think it's funnier. And I like the political aspect they're getting into much more than Harry Potter ever did. Though I haven't read all the books. I've read the first 3. And I do like the Prison of Azkaban. That was a very good book. Okay, but what I'm trying to say, go read Mashle. It'll take you like an hour, maybe. It's like 50 chapters. It's 40 chapters. Catch up to it. It's great. The double page spreads are very common and very cool. And Mashle would slap Goku low diff. Yeah. I'm amazing. I'm the greatest analyses person ever. See ya.